that maybe Bitcoin could hold this level for days or weeks on end before potentially even giving lower prices. It wouldn't be surprising if Bitcoin traded into like 71K and potentially even 66K. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but I also wouldn't be surprised if that happens either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm watching Bitcoin, and
what's up, guys? What's up?
Your entry criteria seems to be working out pretty well.
Bit tardy. We do have news at 6:45.
Yeah, so now I'm
7:30.
actually looking to get in because I was speaking.
Well, there you go. But that's
that candle just closed.
Oh, right now. Card.
Yeah, so normally if I wasn't speaking, I would have literally
just drop it our actual 5 minutes
this candle. And then
situation here.
Now my entry is a bit inefficient. Well, a more efficient entry would have been right there, stop below the low. But it's fine. As long as I can enter within this box, for me, this box is just generally my area of interest. I can still get a good trade in.
That's very interesting.
But again, we'll see what happens. Like this doesn't mean it's going to hold. Price could go up and it still come back down and give lower prices.
Yeah.
But it's a nice reaction for now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually in now. So we'll see how this runs. And then gold, still waiting for gold to trade into that sort of order block. It's making headway, but we'll see what happens.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the NASDAQ. There's been an initial push to the lower end in the first 15 minutes, but now it's pulling back up. It doesn't really look. I'm not sure what I think you look at different markets, Richard. I think you look at the S&P 500, even though they're very, very similar.
Yeah. I mean, I look at I can show my charts quick if you don't mind.
Yeah, all done now.
Let me just share that quick. So I was looking at these SPX 500 on the CFD side of things. So we had this gap here. I don't know what it looks like on the futures, but I suppose a gap between Friday's close and Sunday's sort of start of the week, right? Nearly full that during tonight's overnight session. And actually, where's my start of the day here? There we go. Just put that in. But yeah, sort of a bit of a rangy sort of movement, right? As you guys probably know, I want to see what is called potentially little sweeps. So, although trying to trade this market long will also be quite scary. But
yeah,
at Walter's, you know, kahunas that he has.
The scary trades usually the scary trades are the most rewarding.
Yeah. So, if we can see price take out these sort of a little bit of a double bottom type of range or movement.
All right.
Move upwards,
What kind of channel are we in right now?
In that trade.
Crazy one.
Alternatively, should price take out the current range high. But what's that? 5,004.
What? Yeah, I'm tired. I am of the tired right now.
Lower switch to 1 minute time frame. Break of structure, fair value gaps, similar to what Walter does. Then I'll be interested in the trade. That being said, there's been a few occasions during the past couple of weeks, I believe, when there were ranges. Gaps that were formed, that we see a beautiful gap for, and then a decline. So that might be something I need to build into the strategy.
Oh, it did bounce up.
Actually, just looking for the initial signs of what a reversal might, initial signs of an early potential reversal, which is generally your break of structures. That's all acceleration that you get, and you get the fair value gaps and those sort of things. So
stop filled.
We've had those.
Oh, we have the sim still enabled. Damn. Damn. What are we trading today?
There was another one on this day. We had a little bit of a gap for slightly reversal lower. So that being said, extremely. I don't think there's going to be anything setting up for me today. I've just been watching this absolute carnage in the markets. I didn't work
order
on Friday.
filled.
I did not have a session on Friday, but been clearly following you guys when you were talking. I was watching YouTube at home actually. And
really? Did you watch the whole 5 hours?
No, not all of it. I was drinking a beer or a glass of wine. I must say. Now and then listen to Yanni.
as one does. How does a trader spend his Friday nights? Well, I drink a bottle of beer and
will
watch some
do that if
YouTube videos.
my family was actually just, I don't know, we're picking up my one son somewhere. So they weren't there, and then I'll just quickly switch it over and listen to what you guys have to say. But in any case, yeah, so that was Friday. Things are a
See
bit
what
rangy
happens here. I don't know that we're gonna get
so
much
not really
traded
much
in.
to do.
To be
Either
honest,
one of
on these
these
accounts,
upper
I
or
probably
lower
should.
levels or zones need to be
But
broken. Whether that's gonna happen or not, we'll just have to wait and see.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
because the thing is, like,
we'll see.
you'll probably find
We
this
shall
on-
see
on
what
the S&P 500, which is the
happens.
market you're looking at, right?
We shall see
Yeah, I
what
mean, there's
happens.
an
Order
NASDAQ,
filled.
Same thing, right?
We shall see
Yeah, but I
what
mean, like on
happens.
the longer time frames, like
happens.
say on the daily, you are hitting a pretty strong support level, so
Yeah.
you can expect these kind of
Oh,
conditions.
beautiful.
What I want to do,
I love it.
is if you want to have a look at that,
Give me more of
you
it.
guys probably familiar with, or I did
Give
say
me
previously
more of
that
it.
I do follow market geometry techniques, especially applied to bigger.
I
high
want
time.
all of it.
And what I have here is a combination of channels, or a channel as well as a pitchfork. The specific setting is a shift pitchfork setting. So
Target filled.
Oh,
firstly, if I
look
wanna
at
get rid
that.
of-
They're just
not
pumping me
rid
full
it,
of good
let's
stuff.
just,
Good
hide that.
stuff today.
And we just look at
We
the
are
actual
at it.
channel here.
Let's go.
Then
Mm.
what you typically want to do, if you want to find a low, look where support might come in, especially in a strong decline like this. You know, you'll have a lot of traders
See what
that
we do right
generally
here.
draw, you know, an uptrend from lows to lows. But the way I've been taught, which can also quite
In what
often
way
work
is
really
this
well,
part of our
is to,
strategy?
if you want to find a low or find
Let's talk this
area
out
where
because I
support
don't
might
even
step
know what
in,
my strategy is
then
right
draw
now.
it from high to a low.
Don't know that I need
Right,
one.
so
I mean,
similar
we're
sort of
starting
thing.
to get
Obviously,
back
it's
to
just
where we were,
channels,
where we're
nothing
seeing the
special.
movement.
But, the other
This
thing
is
to
hitting
find
a
with
resistant
channels,
zone, possibly.
or
I mean,
any
this is
market
the
geometry work
close of the
is
first 5 minutes, part of the
that although
strategy that we
there
have
are
laid
areas
out,
like here
which
before
is
in a
wait for the
20,
first
22
5-minute
close,
candle. We can mark
that
out
was
our,
here,
what are we marking
March
out?
23.
Lows and highs of the
You
night
know, they
before
didn't
previous.
breach that lower channel.
So what happens the
quite
previous
often
is
you then run a line
crazy.
parallel to the channel that you've drawn,
I don't know.
and you go, let's say, place it at areas where, in this case,
Then,
it
you
went
know,
over
it
the
picks a
center line.
direction. It's going to hit either
Then
the
that
low or the
sort
high.
of
We're
market
underneath
makes
right now.
support.
Last
Um,
week's.
You know, obviously this is now done in hindsight a little bit, but if you to look, if this
Well,
does not
slow.
find support, the price does not find support, and I know you're
Sure.
looking at this.
It just so happens Thursday's
line here.
high was where
That's right. Actually,
This is obviously
yeah.
on the
yes,
continuous contract.
Friday's opening.
Delayed
day.
data, so it's probably very
Time
close to
was.
that line. But here I have it around about 4,800.
So supposedly It moves in that direction. It
So
picks
yeah,
a direction it
potential
goes.
area of
It looks like we might be
level
going
that
back
support
through
step. Below that,
first 5-minute openings,
still
but we're
see
not
that
gonna
there's
we're not
still
gonna trade it
space
actually.
to the downside.
I feel like we're
However,
at a
if it
point
actually
where
hits
it can
one of
massively
these
shoot the
angles
opposite
support levels,
direction.
it's sort of very
Um,
close to where.
This is actually pretty
previous
good
high.
though.
And as you probably all know, you know, price won't just, or generally would not
Struggling. Oh, it's breaking up.
just perfectly touch the level.
It's
of
doing
price
it.
support. Quite often they'll wick through it.
It's just not part of what I want to do.
Sort of give you a
Yeah.
general
Look at this.
area where you might get an area.
I mean,
So that
There wasn't
might
any time to. Right now, it's time to do it. But
price
it
actually
looks
goes
like
down.
slowly, gradually,
and
there was a
doesn't find
change
support.
in
I don't know
that
here on the continuous contract, I don't know
momentum
what the
here
current
shifting to
futures,
the downside.
price is doing, but I know
I would
someone
take a
depends
sell
how they
here,
splice these,
at least down
contracts
to
together.
here is what I probably should do.
You might actually be in because it's delayed as well. Price might have already hit that level, and I'm not sure.
Now this is
Well,
where
this
we're gonna
trade is
change
like-
it to
well,
the
this trade is
sim
doing
account.
well.
So
Here it is.
Oh,
It's
see,
flying really
we
well.
don't even need to just find out
we'll
that
have a
that
look
was
at that now.
not a
I
good
think
idea.
just,
But we're gonna
and
trade
now
that.
What's also really interesting here, if I bring that
See what happens. Well, let's just see what happens.
And we just use the 3 most prominent anchor points.
We're gonna watch this.
Right.
We're gonna watch this play out here.
Yeah, it's like the channel.
Don't always have to take a trade, but just feels like it's losing momentum.
Beautifully hit that upper
But it could have
104,
came up
150%
and down and bounced,
median line.
and that tells us that it is gonna go up higher.
Now I use
You know what I mean?
shift pitchforks.
So let's just pass this
way
out.
more
We'll
than
go
I
down
use
here.
standard pitchforks.
We'll put in a strategy and say
Order
bam.
filled.
So if you're
Order of
using
the
like long
filledness.
range,
Oh, at the
or
top of this,
historical
that wasn't
Order
probably.
filled.
Oh,
it's spaced out very far apart from each other in time.
don't
then,
press
you
spacebar.
can very easily see that if I were to switch this to a standard, the angle of ascent is just way too strong. You see, price wasn't contained within
Target
the
filled.
bottom of that wall. It did so, however, to some extent, but this is actually something that's really interesting and seeing.
All right, now that it's broken above that,
How far can you
Order
scroll?
filled.
Sorry.
we probably should have done that there.
Can you scroll to 2008?
Will we be saved? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that was also a big drop. It would just be interesting to see. Because that was a significant. The market.
Nope,
also
we're-
crashed, I
we're
think.
getting hit.
Was it 50
We're
or
getting hit.
60%, something quite
Yeah.
significant.
Look, I mean, this is something else I was looking at. If you look at measured moves of declines, I mean, this top decline, it's I wouldn't say it's normal, but it's like it hasn't really extended that far. Yeah, I just want to get this one back quickly. Or actually, let's hide this. If you take your web extension tool and we look at these previous declines,
Kind of hurting a little bit that I didn't take Walter's trade.
then we got
That
100% decline there.
I'm like,
No, should have got out. Guys, getting greedy.
It's a
That's
very,
sort of a
very
major
fast
move,
move.
but
Getting greedy, folks.
sort of 100% again. So by no means,
Oh my
Stop
gosh,
filled.
you know, is
it was
this
gonna work out.
like the end of the world in my opinion.
We're good though.
We can have occasions where price would just like
Whew.
sell off like it did over here in 2020, just find support and boom back to that. Things might be.
But the
different,
thing
but
The thing with the S&P is price always bounce back at the end of the year.
Ooh, you know what? We should have left that in all the way
Yeah,
up to
like,
here.
trying to say is we
All the way up to
are
there.
here at areas where support can come in. I do still see a little bit of downside, though. But it'll be interesting to see what happens over this. I think maybe even this week we'll have a clearer picture or an answer. I would rather
Oh,
like
that's
to
not
see
even
price
moving
move
over
into
there.
those areas sooner rather than later. I mean,
What happened?
judge or check what price is going to do. If it finds support, and like Yanni was also saying, if you can start seeing.
Technically, we're supposed to
something
keep
happens
trading
on a
this
smaller
until
time
it
frame, like a
bites
30
us.
minute, 4 hour, whatever. Maybe price structure sort of change and all that, or at least zigzag sort of formation to the upside, or stair stepping to the upside. Then that could potentially be an early indication of a much higher bounce, or potentially the continuation of this trend.
you mean like the bounce on Bitcoin we're having now? The one I just missed? Is that the way?
Yeah, so let's. I know Yanni is raving about that.
I didn't watch it as a make it down.
It like went up like $2,500 like in the
Yeah.
last 15 minutes.
Walter, please take the screen there so that we can have a look.
Yeah.
It's gonna go back to 80,000. Let's see.
Who are we waiting for?
Are we
I'm
waiting
just
for
sharing my
Walter?
screen now.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
There we go. Wow.
Yeah. So that's so that 4-hour imbalance is still. I'm not looking to hold anything beyond this. Anything, yeah. So right now that's still my primary target objective.
And there it goes. It hit it.
80,
Oh, that was well done. Man.
Probably. This is the account that I really should be.
Really nice stuff.
Thank you. But I'm glad that I was speaking at the time because I missed a very good optimal entry down here. I got in.
I tried to warn you,
that
but
line was.
you know, I tried to warn you.
I was
but
watching
you
the
just,
time. This is one of the downsides of streaming, man. You sometimes like you lose track of time a bit.
Yeah, so you like
It
yeah,
happens.
yeah, exactly. But the NASDAQ is definitely pushing up. So that support level on the daily, it definitely can help you to determine your bias for the day. That's not always the case if you do short-term trading. The bias is not always that clear on the daily time frame, especially with the NASDAQ. I'm not sure if you find the same, Richard. So then you kind of rely on shorter time frames to get the bias. But I think it still looks a bit messy. But definitely the last 15 minutes, something like that.
All right, it's moving down.
Strong,
moving down.
Move to the upside, but we're hitting resistance now. You know, it's one of those days.
Let's see what it does right here.
And I just quickly, sorry, Walter, I think you were still busy talking, and then I rudely interrupted as well.
No. Oh, no. I'd finished. I'd finished what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Right now it's just, right now I'm just waiting for this to fully hit the targets. I think gold is still in play, so just waiting for that complete move to the downside, into that lower order block, and then I'll be looking for a long term there, if it happens, because price could easily bounce up that 30 minutes. So right now it's sitting on the 30 minutes block. So it could easily bounce up with that continuation.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, but that low, this is actually very good to see, to be honest, Bitcoin making those, I mean, obviously, as I've mentioned right in the beginning, you kind of, especially if you expect a much longer move, a bigger move to the upside, then the longer time frames is going to be more important than the, say, the 15-minute or the half an hour or the 1 hour.
Yeah.
But I just quickly wanted to show the similarities of what you've showed on Bitcoin and how, well, there are some differences, some key differences. But in terms of the sell-off, the level of
all right, what is it doing?
Aggressive sell-off.
This is one of the areas. So it's gone up, touched.
Yeah, of course. You want to show
below.
this for NASDAQ? You meant.
No, the pound US dollar.
What are we doing here?
This is the pound US
Oh,
dollar.
I see.
This is the opening.
Yeah.
So it bounced off a couple times.
So you see now this. Now you can't. This is not apples for apples. I know the Bitcoin chart looks different because in Bitcoin, the overall broad trend was down anyway. So this is the sell-off on Bitcoin looks pretty much like this, okay, just in a very different structure. So it's the same kind of thing.
So I think if it goes underneath, comes back up, touches it,
down,
then goes,
almost want to
starts
see
looking
that
like
bounce.
it's going down, probably gonna shift.
Does that
probably
make sense? So this could potentially go much lower, maybe to here.
What is it doing? It came down, bounced off
before
of it.
you continue to trade lower, or
might be a prime time
level. You may look to enter a position to the long side. This is the 4-hour time frame. I just wanted to point out those similarities, but the structure is different. What's your take on the structure on the longer time frames? Sorry.
This looks very much like Bitcoin, especially the way prices rejected that low. It rejected it in exactly the same way.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to point out. It looks very, very similar.
Account. Let's see what happens.
But anyway, for right now, I've already said that. Right now, this little steep decline here, you want to see the end of the decline first, and then a bounce back up, and then you can start to make a decision. But it's never a good idea to try to get short right now.
No, absolutely not.
This is
not at the lows.
Yeah,
but then on the 1 hour, do you look on the 1 hour at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. I look at the smallest I'll go down to is the 15-minute on Forex and even Bitcoin as well. I won't go smaller than the 15-minute, but on futures on the NASDAQ, I will go down to the 1 minute, but it's a very different market. But yeah, no, I will. To answer your question, yes, definitely the 1 hour is definitely something I look at. Now, is this? We've already determined that you are made out of steel and probably go long. But
on this, I wouldn't buy that. I mean, I can see the price is potentially going to head to the swing high and fair value gap just above that. So that little imbalance where your red line is.
Oh, we took a hit.
I just see the potential for price sort of like contracting to that level. But a lot of so like I would only frame a setup on what the 15 and the 30 is saying if it's in line with some sort of an intraday trend. What does the 15 look like? Let me just open up pound dollar on my end as well.
Well, it's basically
Oh no, that is
Order
that
filled.
is not
Stop
long worthy
filled.
at all.
Oh.
That's actually more short worthy than long worthy.
Uh-oh.
yeah, but you see, this is exactly the problem. There are so many contradictions.
There's a lot
you
that
can
still
make
needs to happen before you can even think about going on. I would say.
yes.
Talking
This
about
is
that
the thing
recent
is like
swing lower high.
exactly. You can make a strong argument for going long, and at the same time making a strong argument to go short, and those are not good. Those are not good trades. Those are not good trades. So we just need more price action. That's my stance on it since Friday, really. And I think based on today, I still.
Ooh, we were
hold that
so
view.
in profit there.
So,
Early
yeah.
days, Monday, right? So you still got time. Watch
Yes.
it,
Yeah, look on Bitcoin. I just quickly wanted to show, on Bitcoin, on the daily time frame. Okay, we had a pretty strong pullback, and after we hit that support level, if we can end the week,
Yeah.
if the weekly candle can form a really nice strong bullish hammer, that would be, I would say, good news for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Obviously it's only
100%.
Monday. If it can, if we can get like a really nice strong, maybe if it, I don't know how long what we can expect. It's only Monday, but so far it definitely bounced off that level, which is that high on the monthly time frame. So now a support. But as you've said, Walter, it can come down to retest this level, maybe even kind of come down a little bit further to scare the kids, and then go back up.
That's only when
And then go back
Walter
up.
gets out of his position. That's going to happen, John.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so as soon as the amount is going to come back down, it's like
Order filled.
it's wrestle time.
So I mean, I do think it's like really it's a time to focus on getting ready at least for
Stop,
launch,
Phil.
as long as
Oh,
this
no.
level will hold.
You gave so much
I mean,
money
if
back.
if this candle, if the weekly candle ends as a very strong bearish candle, that will give me a lot of confidence that next week and the week after we are going to see sort of like bullishness on Bitcoin. But if this weekly candle closes as an inside candle, so meaning it closes in last week's range,
Order filled.
I really do see potential continuation to the downside. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we need
very
a
strong bearish close would be nice.
sorry guys. But it would be I agree with you. If
Stop,
if it
Phil.
closes inside last week's range, then but I'm talking specifically about the open and the close. I do think it's a different story if it can engulf this body. If it can engulf this body, that definitely looks more bullish because on
Order
the monthly,
filled.
what I want to see on the monthly, ideally, but, I know it's only the 7th.
Stop filled.
But if you can get
Oh, no,
this
now
to
we're just
me,
giving
these
money
two
back.
candle formations. This is a bullish formation. So the last
Yeah,
candle,
we messed
there's
up
always
here.
a probability for this to pull back down yet. But if we can break the open of this month, because it's already traded lower quite
breathe.
significantly for this point in the first week. So if we can break the open of this month and confirm price action on, say, the daily and the weekly, that definitely provides us with a bullish context. That doesn't mean you can still get a new candle with a lower wick and all of that, but it definitely
Order
provides you
filled.
with more bullish context compared to what we've had so far, all the way to this level. It was all bearish. Maybe apart from this little, there was a little channel, this little bullish channel there, so there were some opportunities to go long, in that little channel there. Maybe not the best chart, but this one, so that was that triangle before the break, but the channel I'm referring to is this one, this channel that we had there, not very parallel or anything, but it was a channel nonetheless. So when we broke out of that channel, then we basically, or in the other sessions, we spoke about we want to see price coming back to this neckline. into that little pocket area, and then we want, once it hits that resistance, if it can sell off aggressively, then that's definitely an indication of Bitcoin moving lower. And that's exactly what we got. But today, this is a pretty strong bounce of the very strong support level. It's a good sign, I think, so far.
Yeah, we're getting a very strong
Good
bounce
sign.
there on the NASDAQ and ES as well. Just
Oh
closed
my
that gap.
goodness. Yeah. Okay, so the support level on the daily is playing out, you know, I'm
Yep.
suffering from the same. See, that was the strong support level there. Let me zoom out a little further there. So just a rejection of that support level, and that's basically what we're seeing on Bitcoin as well right now. Very, very similar. Also on a key support level, just on a longer time frame, the monthly time frame. You know, also that support
What was
level
that you're looking
bounce.
at there? The instrument? The previous one?
The US tech, so that's the NASDAQ.
Stop filled.
This is the
Let's
CFD.
go.
So if you go back to around October
No more trading
Yeah.
today.
2020 or 2021, yeah, that's a
Yeah, that was the one we were looking at on the, well, not the same market, but
Shush.
the same sort of
Shush.
previous high.
Don't do it. That's a trap.
yes.
That's a trap.
Yeah, but basically what I'm just pointing out is like this is very similar to Bitcoin and the reaction of those levels of that particular that zone anyway. We are now trading in that. I do think.
See?
Look at the daily. Oh, but Walter, you if this closes, like if today closes inside,
We're done.
this,
We're so done.
range, I mean, I know it's not a good structure because you're back in yesterday's range, so it's not really taking out anything. But would this be enough for you to change your bearish context, or would you like to see more?
The bearish context will still be valid.
Oh, it's going still.
In
Should I
fact, it'll
try
be
and
even
pass?
more valid if it closes back into the range. Because like what would have validated a good
Nope.
reversal would have been
I got
if
hit
the
so
market
fast
had
right there.
actually traded into where your support is and closed below that low.
And three
Well, right now what
cycles
we are
is
seeing is a
not fine.
rejection.
How would you label those cycles from, from the current decline? Because what's that?
From the
on
current,
daily?
from the reversal or the
The current
bullishness?
decline, but let's say this previous lower high, or lower high that we have there where that wick is.
This one, yeah. No, this one.
Just go to the right.
This one.
So a lower high, not lower lows. Because I'm very interested in how Walter actually counts.
Oh, lower
the
high.
cycles, and the completion of a cycle would be like 3 sort of lower lows, right?
Yeah, so the cycle starts with a break of structure, right? What time frame is this, by the way?
This is the daily time frame.
daily.
Yeah,
So
this
if
is
you know
going
it
down.
goes,
Yeah,
it goes
I don't-
straight up, all
Interesting.
the way up.
I don't
This is
really
still
count. I
going
don't really
up.
count the cycle on the higher time frame.
Interesting.
Okay.
Just purely because it's not as accurate. It's more accurate on
Okay.
like the 30 minutes, 50 minutes,
What
and
is
1
that
hour.
about?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
It's still evidence. It's just not something that I would rely on for
What
the
is that
daily or the
about?
weekly. But then I did
Yeah,
look at
I
it.
also-
I did look at it within the context of that as well. Because on the daily time frame, right? So I can just quickly show you on mine what I'm looking at as well.
You're gonna bounce off the line?
Are you sharing there?
Yeah, it's being shared.
Oops.
Sorry. I think
we both
I had-
taking it.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Walter.
No worries.
Oh, good. So so on the daily time frame, I mean, if I were to look at this within the context of the cycles, so I would usually, because I don't track it on here, but I'll usually go from like the high where the break of structure happened, which is here, and then there's the first low that was created after the break of structure, and then after that there's that aggressive third part of the cycle. So the third part is always, that second leg is always very aggressive. And then the market gave a reversal into this bearish order block / imbalance. And after that, there was a cycle reset. So it was a new breakup structure right there, right? And then there's a fair value gap that was created right here. So this form, and obviously the higher one is going to be the more interesting one, which formed the AOI. So first, second, and right now the market is still in the second phase of the cycle. So within the context of a cycle on the daily, I am anticipating there'll likely be a third explosive move to the downside. And then after that third explosive move, then sort of a reversal. But then one thing to notice, so like with this, the reason I don't use the daily to identify the cycle is if you look at this, like it's still there. But like if you take a look at this, right, this is the first where the breakup market structure happened. This is the second, which is the first swing low. The market can stay within that second range for a very long period of time. So like so the second low formed on the 20th of December 2024, but it remained within this range and only broke out of the range on the 24th of February this year. Does that make sense? So although yes, I'm looking at this saying this is still bearish and this is the second phase of the cycle, I don't know how long the market will remain in this range. But one thing I'm confident on is if I were to day trade this on a 15-30 minutes time frame, I'll find plenty of opportunities to just buy and sell within that range alone. So within the concept of the cycle, there's room for more downside. That's why I still have these sort of levels marked out where the market could potentially, like there is still a little bit of gap between where price currently is and the retest of the previous high that was created last year. So the market could retest that level. And if it were to trade a little bit lower, another level to be cautious of.
Dang, that makes me want to try and pass.
So this swing low is the low.
You know how close I am to passing now?
Bullish move that happened where price traded into 100K. So this is a pretty significant area of liquidity, right? But this is the move preceding that big move that we saw sort of like towards the end of last year, where Bitcoin went to 100K. So if we do see price
now it would be
trade below
distracted
74K,
trading, and we should trade.
Very likely,
We did
it would
really
go down
well.
to 66K, which is where Bitcoin was on the 4th of November last year.
We were doing
and then
so
from
well.
66K, it becomes
we went
even
to
more
not doing
difficult to anticipate if Bitcoin is even going to bounce this year or not.
Yes, that's exactly my view. I feel if we break that support level on the monthly, that support level, that significant support level, and we close below it on a time frame like the daily, then it's going to be very difficult.
That's the craziness.
If it does close below that, or if it trades below that level, it needs to reject, and it needs to reject quickly. Because if you're going to trade there, it's going to be very difficult. Bitcoin's going to have a tough time, I feel.
That's the thing, exactly that. It needs to read quickly, just because of how price sensitive the area is as well. Like we can only imagine of course, like a lot of the liquidity that would have gotten in at that level was probably exited the market by now. But if we imagine that there are probably institutional investors that are sort of like hedging on this in the long run, this would be a very price sensitive area. So if we do see Bitcoin trade to this level, it will react in a fast way. It's just going to be a question of whether that fast reaction is going to sustain sort of like a new pump to the upside, or if it will just hold price for a bit before a further decline. And if it does keep declining, then it will be pretty like sad, because it will go down to 58K, and then after 58K, 52K, and then after 52K, it will go down to 48K.
Yes, because the thing is, like that chart, if it doesn't hold that support level, that will look pretty much identical to the pound US dollar chart. We had a breakout out of the range, and then the breakout failing, but also it failed to hold the support levels. And this is now, I'm talking about the 1 hour, maybe 4 hour time frames on the pound US dollar. But I think you also missed your gold trade, Walter.
No, I haven't missed it yet.
Oh no, did it
this
not?
is now.
Okay.
This is now. Yeah, I haven't missed it yet. There is still. So I would only miss it if the market were to keep on rallying. I wouldn't really miss it because, again, my target is the 15 minutes order block. It could rally where it is, very much so. But price is in an accumulated range right now. I don't want to. So I'll show you this without any sort of markings. right, I don't want to play where price is right now. It's not a good place to play because I could get chopped up very, very easily.
Yeah, it's been
All right,
very
if you look at
choppy.
this, yeah, like this is a very choppy range.
Hmm.
All right, all the market did, if we look at this low that was created, it didn't even break out below this low. It just gave a row track back into the range, so it goes back inside the range. So it hasn't really done anything.
Down, huh?
And this is the
Down,
high of the range. So we just took out the buy side, sell side, potentially going to take out this prior high right there. And then if it does take out this high and if it does bounce back down, again, I'm only looking to buy if the market trades into this order block. That's the only place that buying makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Anywhere
But then
before
play
that,
an
it's
area and
just
trade it.
too choppy. Hmm?
No.
Yeah, identify your area, and that's your plan. Just wait for it. If it does,
Yeah, exactly.
trade. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Like, the only thing that sucks sometimes is like you wait for a level and then it just doesn't go there. Oh man,
Right.
like the pound US dollar, we've been ranging for 2 weeks and it came very close to the low of the range, but it didn't quite touch the low of the range. But also the time it did get close was like an overnight candle. So, you know, I wake up in the morning and I look, oh, we're already 50 pips away from the low. So that makes it a bit tricky. But I identified levels just slightly lower and it just didn't want to give it to me. And then it just moved and broke the range to the upside. So that happens as well.
It does.
But, yeah. But then when you start to change,
you just
tweak
wait
your...
with your buy.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if you're going to start to tweak and mess with your approach, and go, oh man, I missed it. The next time I'm not going to wait for that level. I'm just going to get in when it's more, close enough, and then it's going to affect your results.
The very slippery slope.
Like,
Yeah,
and then you're going to go, man, I should have waited.
Could have.
Level I knew I should have. Yeah, exactly.
There is a graveyard of traders with should have, could have, would have.
Sorry, we're just not just talking, huh? We're over here.
I should have stuck to my trading plan.
Wow.
I could have waited, but I didn't.
Exactly.
Do all that.
Yeah, but I'm just interested in Bitcoin because I think you were
But
targeting like 80,000.
successful.
Is that right, Walter?
Successful.
Yeah, 80,000. So that's the 800 EMA that is now hit.
What we were doing.
So I'm out of this now. So it came
We
slapped
really
right
understand
into that 800 EMA. It acts as an area of resistance, dynamic resistance, rejected it. So yeah, so now I guess, I mean, that's the move for me. I'm not really looking for anything else from this today because price could easily chop around. So Bitcoin is in a very interesting area now because this could easily just like chop around traders for the next few hours. But right now it's still in a bullish cycle. So if we're looking at this from a cycle perspective on the 30 minutes, I was anticipating, of course, that retest of the order block and then that explosiveness to the upside, which has now happened. Now I'm waiting for a swing high to form. So the swing high would form at the close of this candle. The next candle fails to close above this high, then that forms a new swing high, which is fantastic. The 15 minutes time frame is seductive. It's seducing me to go long again because this is now a new sort of bullish reset with that first break of structure point. The next two 15 minutes candle, if this closes and the next candle closes below, then that would form another swing high, which would give me that secondary point.
Came back down to the low.
Make this new order block my area of interest to go long again if the opportunity presents.
Does that mean
itself.
we're
But I don't know.
ready to come back down
One
now
thing
all
I've
the way?
learned is sometimes pushing my luck too far makes me unlucky. So it's good to take it the first time when it comes to you and then be happy with that.
Are we coming back up?
Yeah.
What do we
Yeah,
do?
I find that if
I don't know if it'll be worth going long on this
the
again.
trade, then yeah, if you made profit and it's a decent trade, and then just I'll just walk away.
Whoa! I mean, this NASDAQ is.
You want to show the NASDAQ there?
crazy.
It's been absolutely
Yeah,
going
I
up
think-
to the upside, reverse to the downside. Same thing's happening on crude oil.
I want to see this. Can you guys share it?
Yeah, sure.
By the way, for anyone listening to this, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to. We can actually see your questions in the comments, so please don't hesitate to ask your questions.
Yeah.
Showing. There we go.
So the thing here is, you know what makes this very, very difficult to trade is the ATR of the individual candles. So let me just show you what I mean. And I can just see it by looking at, you see like 1 point, that's to 20, 30 points, and that small move. But that makes it very difficult for me to trade because I'm like, on this account, I'm trading 2 micros. That's the second smallest position you can possibly take. 1 micro is the smallest position you can take. So if you look from the price from this level there, which is 17,449, and then you look at the price or the level here, 17,449, and that high is 17,610.
Yeah.
What's the answer? What's the answer, guys?
Well, be a tenth. What's the NASDAQ trade? $5 a
17,610 minus 17,449. What should I? Is it 16? Okay.
161.
16 points. So 16 times 161. So 16 points, right?
Yeah.
Times 4. 64. Okay, 64 ticks.
The 64 ticks times $5, but that's like on the micros now, right? So what's it?
Yeah, it's on the micros. It's on the micros. Right, I just want to delete these. Yeah. Anyway, but typically I would take a position like this coming off the VWAP. But look at the 15-minute time frame here and the half an hour. You got to the R1. This is pivot point. Very strong rejection. What do you make of this price action, Walter? Even though I know you don't trade this, but what do you think?
Well, sort of fitting with the how things are going currently in the market, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they all seem to be weirdly correlated, but these are not markets that are typically correlated.
This is very much correlated with what you just saw on Bitcoin.
Yeah, the moves are correlated, but the typically, like, they're literally moving in exactly the same way.
All right, what's it going to do? Is it going to bounce here? Is it going to go back up? I think it's going to bounce down. Go down.
There's a comment.
So if it's like, so if assuming Bitcoin is going to keep rallying to the upside, then it looks like NASDAQ is potentially going to retest and keep rallying to the upside.
Yeah, it's just like you are in a downtrend, and I know we've hit support on the daily time frame, but you can just see that the structure, the price structure is just not, it's not clean. It's not clean price. It's not clean price action. It's very like, this is a recipe for
getting chopped up.
Disaster. You're just going to get, you're going to get tricked into positions. You can, this is especially when you do,
you know what these kind of structures are? These kind of structures are about entry. If your entry is in a really good place, even if it's a shitty range, you could get a nice trade on this. But if you're entering in the middle of the range, just trying to like follow the move or trying to catch up to the move, you're probably going to get chopped up.
Yeah, for sure. You see, like,
so this is tradable. You just need to wait for extremes to form.
Yeah, look, the thing is, like, I have a very specific set of criteria before I will take a trade on scalping. Very specific. And if
what do you look for?
Well, I look for specifically for at least 2 of these time frames to line up and direction of the trend, and then I will look at the 1 minute time frame. That's my trigger time frame, and I want to see specifically a breakout and a retest. That was probably it. Okay, breakout, a bit of a retest before the move to the upside, and that will line up with the candles that closed here. But unfortunately, Richard was talking so much that I didn't look at the markets. No, but yeah, but there was this one opportunity there. So what I'm trying to get a bias from at least two out of the 3 time frames. It's a very straightforward setup. There's nothing complicated about this. And then on the 1 minute time frame, I'm specifically looking for breakouts and retests on specific support resistance levels, or VWAP, which is these lines here, or the or the standard deviation of those lines. But it has to be in sync, or it needs to agree with what I see on the longer time frames. In other words, it needs to be in the same direction with what I see on the longer time frames. So then you just scalp.
Look at that
It will
order
typically
book
just
there
be
on the right hand side. It's going nuts.
How do you
Yeah, that's
incorporate the pivot points as well? Because I can see that you've had obviously price retest that pivot level at
yeah.
R1 rejected it.
Yeah, the pivot points are they basically just it's another form of support resistance, right? So if I'm trading, if the market opens here somewhere, then the pivot point is a good place where you can target price to go on the longer time frame. So you could potentially get 2 or 3 opportunities on the way there. But pivot point, it almost always goes to the pivot point. Almost always. So glad I said it.
Yeah, pivot points are very nice. I used to use them quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean they don't really work that well on forex. Sorry,
No, they don't.
yeah, they don't work that well on forex in my opinion. They work extremely well on the NASDAQ. They just work, and they are levels. They are respected levels. I mean, this is S2 for example today. S2 bounce off S1 back to S2, breaking through S1, and then this is a range before the market opened. And then we've got this push here, but it just, that's the pivot. That's R1, finding resistance at R1. So they are definitely respected levels, particularly in the NASDAQ, I find. So I use them for that reason. For targets as well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for targets as well. I do have like some of the trades that I've placed during the sessions, as well as recordings of trades, where the pivot point plays a role, or the R1, or I will start to like if the buyers are short and we are at R1 on the 15-minute, then I'll look at the 1 minute time frame for a setup like independent of the fact that I'm looking at R1. If that makes sense.
All right.
Yeah.
So I know.
Well, it came down and bounced.
The 1 minute time frame. I want to see a setup
what is it gonna do now?
that makes
What is it
sense
gonna do?
on its own.
What do you guys think?
But in the same direction of what I see on the 15-minute. Does that make sense? So the bias, there's just a bias, and then I want to see. So in this particular example, it did hit R1, but
I'm not really sure.
there was nothing here. Where's it? It's not breaking a support level and then retesting it or anything of that nature. So even though it rejected on there, you still need to kind of find that setup that makes sense. And there was just nothing in this particular case. So they kind of flow.
You still want the 30 minutes and 15-minute candles to line up. So we got now on the 15-minute a previous red candle, but on the 30-minute.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got the last close candle. Yeah, it was bullish. But the thing is, the problem here is when you see, and this actually happened in one of the trades I recorded, or was I when I did live? I can't remember. But I can show you it here. I will remember it. I think it was this. No, it was before that sell-off. Yeah, this was the one. So there was a setup to go. Well, I'll use this one. Okay, why not? So there was the 15-minute, the half an hour, and the 1 hour were all bullish. And I saw this resistance level, and that's your potential. It's like, okay, it can potentially go there, and then you still need to, on the 1 minute time frame, find that opportunity, so a breakout and retest.
So much to do.
And then it did go there.
So
I took my profit before it even hit the resistance area. And then what happened from that point is it moved back down, presenting a second opportunity. Back to this resistance area. Now that one I didn't take, because for me the opportunity lies the first time, right? Like the first opportunity you get for price to go to that resistance, that is the opportunity. The second time it presents that opportunity, it's a weaker opportunity in my view. Because it's already, obviously not that day, but
the likelihood of it working out diminishes.
Yeah, I also do the same. If I miss it for some reason, then you've missed it. It should have been in. It's already hit target, whatever. You don't. Then sort of, it's like chasing. If you try to get in. Like,
yes, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly.
Excursion.
No, you're absolutely right. But the thing is, like, the second opportunity did work. It did work, but I didn't take it for the reason I just explained, and that's how I explained it at the time as well. Like, this is a 15-minute. But yeah, so that's that's exactly where we are right now. That's why I'm explaining it to you, because for me, you know, look at this, the opportunity R1. This is already quite a significant resistance area for, especially in the down trend. I know we're on support on the daily, but yeah, on the smaller time frames, especially if you're going to scalp the 1 minute, if you've already hit R1, you know, and now you want to, you're trying to, now you're just trying to push your luck from this point, because it's already hit like a significant level. Does that make sense? The opportunity was here. Right here where that arrow is. This arrow is. No, I mean I miss it. Like, yeah, it's fine. It's not a no. It's not this. No, but anyway. So I was just looking at the NASDAQ. No, looking at the NASDAQ. Whoa! But this is. Does that make sense? This is the only opportunity there was. This little arrow here, all that arrow means is that price actually closed above the resistance level. So sometimes when price actually could be so close to that line, and you're not quite sure whether it closed outside or not.
These things are going.
That's all that means. It doesn't mean buy or anything like that. But this was the only opportunity. And then a pivot point would have been a realistic profit target.
Anything I need to
not
do?
R1. That would have been a bit of a push. Very quick move. And then that's it. That's all that's here there at the moment. And now with the 1 standard deviation, technically, that presents another opportunity. Yes, but will you take it? No, you will not take it, because you've already been at R1, which is quite a significant resistance area. Just so the opportunity, the quality of the setup is just not the same anymore, because now you're expecting miracles. Or not miracles, but it's
okay. We're gonna do something real quick.
The opportunity is gone.
I mean, aren't we always expecting miracles from the market to one extent or another?
Well, we do, don't we? We do. But we are speculators. We are speculators at the end of the day, and it's all about increasing probabilities as much as you possibly can.
Exactly.
So,
well,
so the opportunity.
Well, we can.
It's not the same anymore. So but I think for me, like if you look at where we are right now, pretty much, are we not pretty much
got shadows. What is this going on?
Very close. Open. We on the NASDAQ.
Why is it not available, eh?
All right.
I'm on the net.
My trading view is dying, but there is another trade coming up actually on Bitcoin. And gold is moving very well into my area of interest. But for whatever reason, my trading view is I can't share right now. Does anyone have trading view? Because like mine is just let me try closing it and opening it again.
Oh, look at gold. Yeah, it is coming down to your level of interest. So you would wait for another candle, is that right?
Yeah, so I want to see how many 15 minutes
so you frozen
going down. So it's what two bearish candles. Yeah, it's frozen.
There's two. We are in the second bearish candle.
That's weird. I'm trying to open trading view and it's just loading.
Yeah, I think there's a server issue probably.
There must be.
Because all of a sudden all my charts froze.
Yeah.
They're having server issues.
Must be.
That's the perfect time.
I can't open it. Frustrating. Oh dear, no, I can't even.
Okay.
Trading view.
The hamster wheel. You got the hamster wheel. They pulled the hamster wheel on you. Okay. Well, I can show you. Do you want me to show empty MetaTrader?
That should be on the printer now.
Yeah, sure. I can.
Maybe do that.
Yeah, probably I'll be better.
You can just give me your login details. I'll place the trade for you.
No, it's fine. I can.
Just gonna make sure.
I'm like, here you go.
Oops, sorry, Michael. I didn't mean to place 100 lots.
Trade as you wish. Oh, 15 lots. Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look. All right, so that's.
I'm gonna share my MetaTrader for. Right. Let me just.
Sweet.
1 second.
Oh, what's going on? So it's bouncing off the top
whatsoever. It's all. I just put everything on trading view.
Of the morning.
You want me to
Openings 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll remove my.
We remove that one. What? Which one are you sharing
Sorry.
already?
No, not yet. Sorry, just coming up now.
Here we go. That one.
Yes. Let's get rid of these positions. Let's get rid of this one. Sorry, I'm just getting a lot of load issues right now. Alright, let's see what we need. Alright, just briefly with this one, all I'm interested in is the close. Ah, God. I'm gonna meta trade a 5. Who does that? Sorry.
There we go.
Sorry, Yannick. I know you do. I'm not,
No.
I'm not judging. Alright.
Okay, so we got two.
Alright.
We got two bearish ones on gold. What are you looking at? That is gold, isn't it? Or I can't
Yeah.
really see.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so just wait for that third. That'll be awesome. And then, so this is going to close as a swing point in the next
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Yeah. The next 3 minutes is to close as a swing point, 4 minute second high. So the setup on this will be from the order block. There we go. Beautiful.
Are you back?
All right, there we go. So
I
this
get
will close as
confused
a
on
swing
those
point.
other charts. I understand what's going on here.
And then the setup will be from the order block to the low. But the target on this one is going to be interesting. One or two things could happen, right? The first is we could see a very explosive reversal where the market could literally take out this high, the high of this. So if I just go back to the 4 hour, there's this imbalance, which has been my area of interest. So price could close in on this imbalance and even potentially retest this bearish order block right here. Or we could see the market essentially trade all the way back up to the highs, right? But I like to respect the 800 EMAs. So where are they? Still not loaded up. I know there was an 800 EMA sitting just above this box on the 15 minutes time frame.
Still
So
bouncing
that
up,
would be
huh?
my next target.
Pretty good.
Would be to trade.
We're not
essentially
trading, though.
So either this high
I
or
want to
just
though.
to this
I want to
down
just be
here.
like boom. Just get in there.
That's going to be a 1 to 2 R to R.
Do it.
It's going to be a bit of a smaller position
Right
than
here at
first
the
one,
top.
but still it will be
It's right there.
a tad rewarding. And then there's the so that's
Oh,
yeah.
it
So
is
this
a
is
bad
that one
area.
actually. This one I'm a bit more
No.
confident on. But the gold trade is going to be interesting. I feel like I'm missing something, but I need to see my full analysis.
Okay, well, I just clicked on, I just got my second mortgage approved, so I'm definitely putting all in on this
Don't, we're
trade,
not
so
doing
better
that.
work, Walter.
We're so dumb.
Wait, what did you get
Just,
approved?
okay, you know what? I'm closing this one right here because look at that. That
Well,
was
you know,
probably at a top of a channel there.
Oh man.
He
That
took
was
a
so
loan out on
risky.
his mortgage to
We're
trade.
closing this. We're
Over
closing
it.
that
That's-
down.
I mean, you're doing
We're
better
pretty
than
good
most of
here,
the
though. We
DJs
need to
out
make
there.
3,000. We just need. We don't want to mess that up.
I remember when I tried trading meme coins. It lasted for 1 week, but some of the stuff I see people do just for meme coins, I'm just like, really?
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, insane.
Okay.
And
well,
there
I
was a
think,
guy on X. It took out his daughter's school fees and used that to invest all in the meme coin, and then it didn't go very
Degen.
well. Degen to the
Not
core.
very clever.
There we go. All right, so this is now the second candle. So now I'm waiting for that third. Actually, I don't need to wait. I'm just gonna set a pending order. Because if there's going to be a third bearish candle, it will probably drop into this box, right? And what I don't want to do is miss it. So stop below the low, and then on the high of the order block. And then I'm taking profit at the equilibrium, which is 3,066. So actually this is a very perfect point. So that's 123.36. 1046. And then Bitcoin dollar. Yeah, and then I think I'll just place a small trade on this one as well. And I'm gonna head to bed and wake up tomorrow morning and see what's happening. Daddy, you're based in Switzerland, right? If I remember, or is there a different country I'm thinking about?
No, I mean I'm in South Africa.
Oh, you're in South Africa. That's the one. What's the time there right now?
It's now 4:45. So.
Oh, it's now 4:45 p.m. or a.m.
PM. PM. Definitely PM. Definitely PM. 4:45 in the morning. No, I can't remember when last I woke up. 4:45 in the morning. But no, definitely 4:45 in the afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah. What time is it where you are?
Oh, it's now 10:46.
Oh, okay. 10 p.m. Okay.
PM.
Well,
yeah, 10:40 p.m. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we're slightly over, but I don't think it's a problem. But Richard, Walter, it was great to speak to you guys again.
Yeah.
Absolutely love the session today, guys.
Yeah, like man.
It's really good.
See you again
yeah, it'd be nice. But in the meanwhile, have a great, good trading, guys. Good luck with your trading. You know what I mean.
Thanks, guys.
Happy trading.
Everyone.
Happy trading, guys. All the best.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sweet. I do have to go. Peace. All the loves. We did a good thing. We stopped trading. We almost messed up there. Oh, I want to do it, but we're not going to. Anyways, that's it. You guys have all the funds.